Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. I am the host, Q the Boss, and today I got two special people with me today, right? One is from New York. She's been with us already by way of Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
By way, and her sister is in the building with us today. I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves. Who wanna go first?
Okay. Hi, my name is Arianna. I'm 19 years old and I'm a college student.
College student. She's just not a college student, guys. She's pre-law.
Hello.
Come on, give it to her. That's big. Let me let you introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, EverBlessAsh. You already know. Originally from New York, live in Atlanta now.
She's from Haiti. So, guys, today we talking about something special. You know, my hands is itching because I love talking about these things with Ashley, and I'm pretty sure her sister gonna bring some fire content. Why? Because today we talking about relationships in 2023, right? You don't have to be in a relationship, guys, to understand and see what's going on in today's society, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about propaganda. We're gonna talk about dilemma, and we taking phone calls today, guys. Somebody, Kenzie, do me a favor, bring me the phone number. So, guys, matter of fact, let me start off by introducing the ladies and let you guys express what you guys do. Other than just school, what are you into?
Wanna go first?
I'll go first. So I'm EverBlessAsh. I'm an influencer. I am an actress. I'm a model, and I am a business owner. I am an entrepreneur. I own my own skincare line, EverBless Beauty. Tap in.
That's a lot. I sound like a serial entrepreneur, right? What about you?
Well, I'm Arianna. Recently I've just been picking up certain hobbies like painting, maybe little music, just trying to get a start somewhere.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Listen, be yourself. Let it go like this. Shake it off. Let's go. There we go.
It's her first time.
Yeah, but it's cool. She gonna do dope. I'm telling you. I already feel it.
She's gonna be fire.
So listen, guys. So today, we're talking about relationships in 2023, right? We're in a very bad space, you know, in 2023. It's transitioning the same melee is transitioning from 2022 to 2023. I'm going to ask you, Ashley, first.
What's up?
Since you like to talk, right?
Uh-huh.
So what do you think about relationships in 2023? We only days in, right?
Yeah.
Like what, 16 days in?
15.
15 days in?
Yeah. 2023, I ain't experienced no relationship, nothing in 2023. However, I can speak on the direction that I see things going.
What do you see it going?
Down the drain.
Relationships.
Yeah. I'm not liking what's going on right now.
No, I seen a study the other day that said something about more black women will be single in the next 20 years.
Probably.
Why do you think that is?
Black women specifically or women in general?
Okay, let's just go over women in general. I don't want to single anybody out.
It's an issue on both sides, I'll say. I'll never blame one side. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that is what's going on right now. Like everybody's blaming each other. It's like men versus women, but
Agreed.
we're supposed to get together. You know what I'm
Agreed.
saying? We're supposed to reach a common understanding.
So what do you think? And I'm only asking you because you're a woman.
Sure.
What do you think the women are doing wrong? But we're also going to ask what are the women doing right after.
Okay.
So what do you do? We're going to do pros and cons. What do you think the women are doing wrong?
I feel like a lot of women don't know how to relax into their femininity, if that makes sense.
Of course it does.
I'll say that. I feel like a lot of women are, to no fault of their own, advanced.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And it's hard to get together if you're advanced. And partially, the reason for the advancement is not being able to relax into your feminine energy too. One thing about wounded femininity that typically comes from like an absent father in a woman's life is overachiever. You see what I'm saying? That is a symptom of that. But I don't feel like women should be blamed for overachieving. You see what I'm saying? We come from a generation where we've seen our mothers get left behind and have to handle everything by themselves.
Agreed.
So, of course, as a result of that, you're going to want to make sure that you're good and you can sustain yourself in a family if you decide to do that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let me ask you that same question. What do you think are the cons? Like what is wrong with women nowadays, you think, in the dating field? What do you think is wrong? We're gonna talk about the pros too, guys. So don't think I'm just shooting at women. I know how y'all get busy sometimes. What do you think?
I think we settle a lot. Like I feel like the bare minimum is accepted a lot more now, and especially with social media, like I guess the normalization of not that I think non-marital like relationships are an issue, but I feel like there's definitely more of like an influx of children with like unmarried parents or like just overall the accepting of like oh sorry the accepting of like the bare minimum like guy opens the door for like a woman and everybody like praises it, but like that's not what women want. Like women want security, they want like women love to feel protected, you know what I mean? So I feel like we just settle a lot, or I guess try to act like men, or like try to compare our emotions to men, but
Right.
we're very, I guess, emotional people, I'd say.
Yeah. Different.
So she said basically, you said not knowing your femininity, basically, right?
Yeah. Not being able to relax into your feminine energy.
Okay. And you said settling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with both aspects, 100%. You know, one thing I will say though, what I see is it's weird because we're in an alpha world, right? We're alpha women, alpha men, right?
Sure.
Which I'm noticing there are more alpha females,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
And what I mean by alpha, I mean by leading. That's what I mean by leading.
Yeah.
When men say that women can't be alpha females, I disagree because I come from an alpha woman myself.
Yeah.
My mother's very alpha. And my mother led every relationship she's ever been in. So when I say it, they're like, there's no such thing as an alpha woman. I'm like, maybe in the biblical days. In 2023, there's some tough girls out here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But for me, I've noticed that when dealing with a lot of these women, some of them expectations are unrealistic.
Like what?
Like, let me say, okay, you take a man, right? For me, I'm speaking from a man that's stable. I'm speaking from a man that owns his own home. I'm speaking from a man that has his stuff together, right?
Yeah.
Not a guy that's still trying to figure it out, right? That don't need her to accommodate me. I need her more so to help. Let's build more, right? So for me, I've noticed that more women, the expectations are unrealistic. Like they really believe certain things about men, I think, that are unrealistic. And when I listen to them talk, let me say, like,
give me some examples.
Like for instance, the 6-figure earner thing.
Okay.
Right? The 6-figure earner, right? That's one. The 6-figure, the 6-foot guy, right? with a 6-pack. So we call that the trifecta, the 666, right? But here's the logic.
Okay.
Only 4 to 6% of black men make only 100K.
Right.
So if you take away scammers and drug dealers, the problem is scammers, drug dealers, and social media has given a false pretense of what the average man really looks like.
I agree.
Right? Let me say that one more time. Social media has given a false pretense of what the average man looks like, right?
Right.
To the point where the average man, who is really average, to us men, we know he's average, he's good, right? Or he's a good guy, quote unquote. Most women perceive them as not being good because I don't think that most women know really what good men are. I'm being honest.
That's interesting. I like that.
I'm being honest. When I listen to her, I'm like, there's a girl I know personally. I'm just say this real fast. She told me she wants to leave her husband. And a matter of fact, Chris, you was here for the episode. She not leave, but she was violating her husband in a sense of not respecting where he is in life, right? But the man that she has, and everyone knows he's amazing. And I'm gonna say this on record again. She will never be able to replace that. Never. And the reason why I'm comfortable saying never, because she's almost 40 years old and she has never got it, and she finally got it and still don't value it, right? He accommodates her. He compliments what she is. She's very alpha, very strong. He allows it.
Yeah.
And he's comfortable in his skin allowing it.
Right.
So I'm like, this is the perfect match for you.
Right.
He earns his own. She never said he was broke. She never said he was a bum. She never said he was lazy, right? But she did say she's a leader, and he's comfortable with that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm noticing that a lot of alpha women want alpha men.
Yeah.
But sometimes some women are too alpha because the alpha men we're not really attracted to extremely alpha women.
Okay.
And I'm being honest.
What is an extremely alpha woman?
The woman. Okay, go ahead.
What is the difference between an extremely alpha woman versus an alpha woman?
Because I feel like an alpha woman is one who can hold their own, right?
Okay. Yeah.
One who's not extremely codependent on a man. She looks at a man as a necessity, opposed to, no, let me say that again. She looks at a man more like, I want him, opposed to I need him.
Need him, right? Okay.
Right? And so to me, an alpha woman is, I'm with this guy because I want to be with him. I don't need him.
Right.
but I choose to be with him, right?
Mhm.
That's a healthy relationship for me.
Yeah.
But when you look at the extremely alpha women,
Mhm.
these are the women that always want to challenge the man.
Mhm.
And I'm like, your idea of challenging a man is not healthy because now you're making him uncomfortable with himself when you're supposed to be making each other comfortable. So if a man feels insecure about his relationship because of the requirements his woman believes he should be at or the financial standpoint he should be at,
Mhm.
she already lost the battle because it gets ugly.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's what I will
Jump
say.
into.
Okay.
What I will say is there is a matter of potential, and somebody that cares for you wants you to reach your potential.
Agreed.
And sometimes somebody pushing you to grow is uncomfortable. And
Agreed.
some people run from that. So I'm not saying that every woman does it correctly. You see what I'm saying? There's a way to do things. There's a way to speak to people. There's a way to encourage somebody, and there's a way to breathe life into somebody. You
Agreed.
feel me? But the intent is what I'm analyzing. I feel like the intention there, for the most part, is to grow because there are people that their capacity is here, but they're here. And they always talk about being here. And if you're an alpha woman and you've done it and you know the model, you know how to do it, you're going to want to push somebody to be that. You see what I'm saying? And that within itself is uncomfortable. A lot of people like to grow by themselves. You get me? I'm one of those people. I like to grow by myself.
Yeah,
You see what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
So somebody coming in and holding me accountable can be uncomfortable, but it's love. You see what I'm saying?
I agree. But for me, right,
Mm-hmm.
Bible says love does not impose its own will.
Okay.
Love does not force its own will.
Right.
You may see me a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
but I may not see myself that certain way.
Right.
I may be, see, like for instance, let's say growing up my whole life, I had no financial stability.
Yeah.
But now that I've acquired it,
Mm-hmm.
to me, I'm successful.
Right.
But now you're basically telling me I'm not successful because where you see that you believe I could become or be. So that's an issue I've noticed with a lot of men and women, right? Sometimes you have a man who's overly imposing what he wants on his woman.
Right.
And that's not what she wants.
Right.
She's comfortable with a 40-hour work week.
Mm-hmm.
Bare, like, no, she don't like some people don't like responsibilities.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're kind of forcing her to take on responsibility that she don't want.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a businessman and my girl is not,
Yeah.
because I want her to be a businesswoman,
Uh-huh.
why didn't I find a woman that was a businesswoman? I
I-
wanted to be a businesswoman.
And I feel you, but I also feel like what it comes from as well is when you tell people what you want to do and you're
Okay.
not doing it. That's what it is. I feel like most of the time. It's like you'll talk to a guy and he'll be like, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a billionaire. I want to be this. I want to be that and the third.
Lazy.
You see what I'm saying?
Lazy.
And then he's not doing it. He's not actively... He's not taking any active steps to do that or be that or turn into who needs to be that, who he needs to be that. You see what I'm saying? So unfortunately, the real answer is to just be with somebody that's on the same type of time as you. You see what I'm saying?
This is
Headed
this is
where you
how I feel. Same way.
Okay.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a person that has potential but has no work ethic is not potential.
Right.
Right? A person speaking on what they want is not gonna see that word manifestation. I talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That word got blown so out of proportion, right? I'm gonna manifestate my beliefs. I'm like, fam, come on, right? And let me go on record and say this to men, and I'm take it how you want it. I'm tough, right? The Bible says if a man don't work, a man don't eat. So, man, I'm not impressed with a man not working. Let me say that one more time, right? The Bible says a man that don't work don't eat. Right? So let me say this one more time. The Bible says a man that doesn't work don't eat. So, man, I'm not impressed with a man not working. I think that is the requirement, the bare minimum requirement of a man. You have to work, right? And we know that women need stability. See, I always talk about women. I don't think most women that get labeled gold diggers are gold diggers. I think women are stability diggers, right? They're looking for stability. And whoever provides the best stability, it accommodates their comfortability. It makes them more comfortable.
Right.
And in order for a woman to be comfortable, she needs economics. She needs provision. She needs to be protected. If she doesn't feel like that way, she will never feel comfortable with allowing a man to lead. It's never going to happen.
Big fact.
And so I miss a lot of men misconstrue it too, because they're trying to lower the requirements of what a man looks like.
Right.
I don't do that on this podcast.
Yeah.
So, man, if you're going to hate me. Ladies, we tell the truth over here too. Let me ask you a question. Right? You don't. It's only 3 of us. So, what do you think when a man is pursuing you or a guy pursuing you, right? what is your expectations? Like, what do you expect? I know you're 19, but we brought you on this reason for a reason because you are the future, right?
Yeah.
So we need to understand what you think. I think us having these conversations, whether it's 5 to 10 different generations, is a beautiful thing
Right.
because you can give us a different perspective,
Yeah.
right? So what do you think? No, what is your requirement? Not think. What is your requirement?
For a man,
Yes.
I would definitely say.
Don't be.
Wor-
Say it.
Okay.
He
Okay.
better have a job.
Yeah. No, definitely like working, security, like also I guess emotional comfort as well. Like I feel like my generation specifically, like I feel as though we're more like men are more intact or becoming more intact with their emotions, which is what like I guess older generations aren't used to. Like they're not
Yeah.
used to,
Yeah.
especially like on TikTok, like you'll see like videos of soft men or men cooking, men cleaning, you know what I mean? Like I like that. I feel like women my age like that as well. Like they like that. I guess like they like that we're leaving this like toxic masculinity type of like vibe that like older generations have given. You know what I mean? I feel like women are very attracted to men who are emotionally intact.
I think the mature women are,
Yeah.
but I think most women they're not mature. Based on what you're saying, you show me that you're a very mature younger woman, right? And clearly someone maybe showed you this, or you saw it was wrong in the house. He was like, you know what? I don't want to date a guy that's not willing to express his emotions.
Exactly.
So that's usually the case. Is either A, you got turned on from what you've seen, or you got turned off from what you've seen. But for me personally, I think most men are scared to be, in my generation at least, we're scared to be emotional because of the fact that most of us got disrespected or insulted by women by showing our softer or weaker quote unquote side.
Yeah.
I've been through it, right? Nobody want to be called the B word,
Nah,
all right?
yeah.
Because I'm going through something.
Yeah.
I actually made a TikTok before,
Okay.
and I was talking about how there was a situation where this guy, he got arrested, and then he was crying, and then the person that told me the story was kind of ridiculing him from crying. I'm like, yo, that's kind of appropriate. You see what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
a black guy getting arrested. He doesn't know what's about to happen to him.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? And then like a lot of people stitched it, and this guy was like, don't ever show a girl your emotions. Don't ever cry in front of no girl. Like, and I reposted it on Twitter. And then on Twitter, people were like, yes, like I've expressed myself to, I was like, I don't want to believe that this goes on.
It
They were
does.
like, no, I've expressed myself to a woman. I've cried to a woman and she called me a bitch, or she
Yes.
threw it
Yes.
in my face. Or I
Yes.
was like, that's kind of crazy.
But it's the truth. And in their defense, they were raised to believe that a man is certain ways and only certain ways, right? But again, that goes to what she said. That goes to basically traditional ways.
Right.
Men were told that we don't feel,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
make us inhuman.
Yeah.
So it's like, most men, and I hate to say this in today's society, are only valued based on their ability to provide. And I hate to say that, but it seems like most men in 2023 are only respected based on their ability to provide.
And you know, I have a rebuttal for that.
I'm listening.
I said this last time I was up here, right? I think that's what they lead with, or that's what they have to offer because of that lack of emotional vulnerability. To be honest,
Agreed. I
in
agree.
reality, the value of a man is his wholeness. You see what I'm saying? Who he is full circle, right?
You think most women think like that?
Do I think most women think like that? I think most women have settled with the fact that only men should be used for their financial stability or security. I think that's a cop-out because they can't find men that are emotionally available or stable or can provide that comfort for them. So they settle with just the finances. That's how I feel.
In my opinion, I think if you have 10 guys, right,
Yeah.
that are very quote unquote into their emotions, and
Okay.
they're very willing to express themselves,
Yeah.
I think most women in today's society are so immature, they won't be receptive of them. I think her generation is changing a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like especially with like sexuality,
Yeah.
genders, and all of these things. They're changing the whole outlook on life, right?
Right.
Because I'm learning these things myself because this is not how I was taught, right? But now I'm open-minded to hearing other people's ways and beliefs and thoughts. I never knew a person could be non-binary. I didn't even know that,
Yeah.
right? I never knew that. I never knew a person could not like a man or a woman. I never knew that. But these are things I'm learning with going into the new times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, social media. Social media definitely plays a major part on this. But one thing I will say is most people's idea of what a perfect relationship looks like comes from media.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I feel
I
like
gotta buy you a
social
Birkin bag.
media. I feel like
A
social
Birkin
media has definitely altered relationships for the worse. And because like everybody's reading with their triggers. You see what I'm saying? Let's say you got cheated on before and then a story you hear like Offset or Cardi B or a situation with a celebrity. Now you taking it to heart. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a trigger for that wound that you never healed.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's all social media is. It's like you already experience a negative experience
Agreed.
and then you go online and you read a meme. You see what I'm saying? That triggers that within you. Now you have like no hope. You feel like there's no real such thing as love anymore because you reading all this and you reading that. But that's not really what exists in the real world. You see what I'm saying? And everybody is putting up a front kind of to protect themselves using their social media as well.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kinda?
Not kind of for real.
Okay. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But like everybody's putting up a front. So everybody's like, you know, engaging in these memes and this culture and that.
Yes,
But
yes.
in reality, everybody wants love.
We have to acknowledge that multiple worlds exist in this world.
Yeah.
You have the wealthy, the rich, and the average, right?
Right.
No, 4. Wealthy, rich, middle class. Technically, they don't want that. And then you have people that are under middle class and poor, right?
Right.
So in each realm, there should be different mentalities to understand where you are in life.
Right.
If I'm comparing me and my girl relationship to Jay-Z and Beyonce's, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Because
sure.
I'm not Hove and she's not Beyonce.
Right.
Right? So if we're measuring the amount of money I spent opposed to how much I was able to keep the roof over our head for the year. Look at holidays, right?
Yeah.
I kept a roof over your head all year. I kept us fed. I kept us stable. I took us out. I've done things to the magnitude of what a real man should do. But now everything is totaled up on what I do for you for Christmas. What I do for you on Valentine's Day. What I do for you on our anniversary. Not saying there's 365 days in a year. If we eliminate holidays, we're talking about 350 days, right? So out of 350 days, that's irrelevant. Your birthday means more than how much I've been there for you. How I brought you soup when you were sick and how I was honest and loyal to you and respected you when you annoying and I'm still here.
When you're annoying.
Yeah, both men and women are annoying as heck.
Yeah,
And being in a relationship is very annoying. Let's
very
just keep it
annoying.
real.
That's a fact.
It's the tolerance level.
Yeah. No, for real. That's a fact.
It's the tolerance thing.
That's a fact.
And that's on both parties.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people don't know that it's on both parties.
It
I
is.
feel like men don't realize that being in a relationship is annoying for
It is.
women. But I
both.
think women are just largely motivated by relationships. Being in a relationship as a woman gives you a kind of social leverage.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I feel like men don't know how annoying they are in relationships. They tend to focus on how annoying you are. But it is annoying and restrictive to be in a relationship as a woman as well.
When there's something funny, one of my boys said to me, he said, yo, Q, I'm thinking about breaking up with my girl. I'm like, why? He goes, when she around me, she look like the old cans in the cupboard, right? But when she heading out with her friends, she look like a whole snack. So he like, yo, Q, I'm getting tired of it, bro. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yo, bro, you should see how if you see her media and then you see her at home all the time, 2 different people, right? And when she's bragging about the men, oh, these guys in my DM, yeah, they're in your DM because of the pictures that you posted. It's not your regular everyday, right? We just gonna call it every day. My face ain't always shaved, right? My hair ain't always cut. So we both deal with both of that aspect also. Men deal with that, women deal with that too.
Right.
We don't always look quote unquote our best.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But for me, I think the most attractive thing is the mentality.
Correct.
I think that is so sexy.
Yeah.
I can close my eyes and listen to a very intellectual woman all day.
Yeah.
Right? She could have a list and it still sounds sexy. Because of the words and what she's saying and her idea of becoming successful and what are her beliefs and what is your nature of being who you are. When you said that, the whole, I like that. When you said it, what you said about man, his holiness,
A value of a man is his wholeness.
his wholeness.
Who he is full circle. Again, I said this last time. It's not only about financial security, but that's part of it. You see what I'm saying? Do you have characteristics that inspire me? Are you healthy? Do you inspire me to be better? You see what I'm saying?
Say it again.
I'm saying it again. I feel like the value of a man is his wholeness. It's not only about financial security, but that is a part of it. Do you have characteristics that inspire me? Are you healthy? Do you inspire me to be better, etc.?
She's right. What about you? What do you feel? You jump in here. Don't be.
No, I'm just like I'm thinking.
Okay.
It's like two different generations speaking. Like, cause personally, I don't really know anything about relationships.
You do know.
I've never been in one.
But you've visually seen a lot.
Yeah, like I've observed relationships.
But that's like how is jail?
How is who?
How is jail?
Jail?
Yeah.
College?
No, how is jail? JAIL. How is jail?
You're asking me how?
Yeah, how is it?
Like in prison?
Good or bad?
Bad.
You ever been there?
No.
But you know.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is I don't want to lower someone's understanding because I don't know the conversations you have that can enlighten you. So sometimes people base things on experience. Experience is not always the best teacher. Sometimes the willingness to listen to others. Right? That's also a plus. So, you don't want to dumb younger people down and tell them you don't know because that's not true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Because you could have watched a marriage your whole life.
You know what you've observed.
Yes. So I'm just giving you your flowers. Don't say that.
That you've observed that are good or bad
in relationships.
The relationships that you've seen around you, your parents' relationships, people in your family. Like, what if some things that you're like, okay, I don't want to do this, or okay, this I could do.
Yes.
Okay, like I guess with women in our family, I feel like there's
careful.
Huh?
Yeah, be careful.
Go ahead, I'm joking.
Okay.
Red light.
I feel like there's this common theme where like when they have children with a man, like they feel the need to constantly, I guess, like you know how women are very, protective of their children, like they'll take the blame for everything, you know what I mean? Like men, like when it comes to I guess the man, like or like the father, like Kim Kardashian is a good example. Like how she's trying to protect her children, and she's trying her hardest like not to bash Kanye because she knows like how it could make her look.
Right.
But Kanye doesn't care about how it makes her look. You get what I'm saying? Like I guess mothers, like the way they protect their children, like by keeping their cool or like even restricting what they say. But like I guess when it comes to men, they don't really think like that. It's not really like. They don't really care to. I'm not saying it's all men, but they don't really care to protect the mother of their children. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I think so too. I feel like a lot of men don't recognize that you're supposed to have a certain regard for the mother of your children if you care about your children.
Exactly.
That's true, but you know what it is? Like for me, I raised my son by myself.
Okay.
Right, and anybody knows I don't talk about his mother.
Right.
And I'm more protective of his mother.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because it's his mother.
Right.
So it depends, but I was also raised by a mother that didn't talk bad about my dad.
Yeah.
Even though my dad wasn't there, she never talked bad about him.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you were raised too, right? Because I was taught that he'll get his understanding of his mother.
Yeah.
And my mother used to say that to me, like, you'll get your understanding of your father. You'll understand who he is. And she never really spoke on him. Right. So when I finally met my dad, I didn't know how to feel.
Yeah.
I was just like a blank canvas. I was like, I'm going to let you paint the picture I see of you. And then I based it on what you didn't do also.
Yeah.
All right? So what you're saying is true. But what I will say is we're taught to be toxic, and then we allow this toxic behaviors to trickle down into men and women's beliefs to the point where we date toxic. We have relationships that's toxic.
Right.
We even engage in friendships that's toxic.
Right.
Yeah.
Even job atmospheres be toxic.
Right.
And sometimes we create these atmospheres.
Yeah.
Right? Some people go to jobs looking for friends. Right? When you're supposed to be going to a job looking for a check. Right? So, but let me ask you, Ashley.
Sure.
What are some of the most toxic ways you see people dating? Let's start with men first.
Okay.
Some of the things you see men do.
Men.
And we shout out women already, so we gotta go back and forth.
Honestly, I feel like men settle a lot.
As far
I think that's why men are mad at women because they don't want to settle because they've adopted settling into their daily practices. Like men settle.
You think that some people really believe that there's a Jesus woman walking around here, and some women think that Jesus really exists for them.
I think it does. The
perfect man?
The perfect man for you.
But then eventually you're gonna find flaws.
Yeah. But everybody has flaws. That's like, I'm not saying that there's a perfect person in general. I'm saying there's a perfect person for you.
I think the
As
perfect
in-
person is the one that loves you for you and don't want nothing from you. He just wants you.
Okay, but I think the person it's deeper than that, right? Because you could find somebody that you like, but you guys aren't necessarily compatible. You can have
Okay.
great chemistry with somebody, but you guys aren't compatible. You can't collaborate. You can't work on anything together. I feel like a great indication of a long-term relationship is if you guys can collaborate together.
As far as
If you guys can work on something, anything, a project or anything. I think any couple that works on something together is prone to staying together.
I could agree with that statement. Say that one more time. I want y'all to hear that. That's a dope perspective.
Yeah, I feel as though the best indication of a successful long-term relationship is the ability to collaborate. I feel like if a couple can't collaborate and work together on anything, it's not a great indication that you guys are going to be able to stay together. Because think about all the things that you actually have to build when you're in a relationship with somebody. You have to build a family, really a generation. You see what I'm saying? You
I
have to
agree.
raise kids. You have to sustain a house together. You have to do a lot of things together. If you guys can't collaborate and it's not smooth, I don't think that's a great indication that you guys are going to be able to stay together.
So let me ask you a question. I want to ask both of y'all a question.
Okay.
What does your perfect man looks like to you?
That's a great
I'm
question.
gonna tell you what my perfect woman looks like to me.
Go ahead.
I want to hear y'all first. Ladies first, right?
Oh, ladies first,
Ooh,
right?
ladies first, right? Ladies first.
Ooh.
The perfect man for you.
The perfect man for me.
6 foot, 6 figures, and
Not-
definitely a six
I
pack.
actually have no physical characteristics for the person that's perfect for me.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You gotta be attracted to him.
Yeah, but it's a vibe thing too. I think vibe is more attractive necessarily than physical characteristics.
I'm at that space right now too.
I like people that are wise. I like wisdom.
Okay.
I like stability.
Okay.
I like predictability. I need a level of predictability. I like people that are responsible but are fun too. I like somebody that's very stable, very grounded.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And somebody that can help me grow.
Okay.
That's what's important to me.
So if you see 10 men right now and approach you, out of those 10, how many usually fit those requirements? Or what you believe is what you want? Or you need rather?
You said
Out of 10?
out of 10, how many people would fit my requirements?
Mhm.
Not many. Not very many. At least not in the spaces that I'm in. I think that's my thing about dating as well. Like I'm not in the environment necessarily to be dating, if that makes sense.
Would you date outside your race?
Yeah.
What about you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you date a white guy?
Okay,
she
not too much
playing
now.
games. She
You
ain't
date a white
playing
guy?
games.
Would I or yeah?
Would you date a white guy?
Would I date a white guy? I don't want to have to, if that makes sense. I don't want to feel like I can't find a black man to settle down with. I
If
feel
it
like
happens, it happens.
If it happens, it happens. But I would strongly prefer to settle down with a black man and have a black family and be an example in the black community of what a great, successful marriage could be like. Yeah.
I agree. I respect it. And either way, interracial dating, I don't knock it, right?
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not me either, right? One of my boys, he actually has a white girlfriend, and I'm gonna say this right now. He stepped out the room, but I'm gonna say this, and I want her to hear this. He could not do better than her. She's become my sister, and I love her to death. I love her OD. She's my daughter, right? But the reality of all things is, when we sit down and we have these discussions, right? I've noticed that how do we really have these discussions without someone getting defensive? I think that's why most men and women have so much trouble. Because if a woman is telling her perspective on what she believes about men, I won't jump on it,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what she's seen, or maybe that's what she's endured. You
Right.
can't tell me what a slave plantation feels like if you've never been there.
Yeah.
But if she's been through trauma and abuse and verbal abuse and you know, she has a right to express what she feels, especially if she's dated 5, 6, 7 guys and it's been the normal pattern. So that's going to be her outlook on a lot of men, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get it both ways.
I also feel like people are too prone to categorizing and making everything a general thing. Sometimes the issue is you and your choices.
Say that one more
And
time.
a lot of people lack
It's
the
you.
accountability.
Say that one more time.
Sometimes it's you and your choices. A lot of people lack the accountability because they want to generalize. Oh, I dated a black guy, so I have this negative experience, so all black men are not good. No, sometimes you're just choosing the wrong people based on your traumas, based on your wounds, based on the negative things that happened to you, probably from childhood or things that you've observed. So you have to take a certain amount of responsibility and be like, okay, what am I doing wrong in my choices? Okay, now let me shift.
Would you say some people are attracted to toxic people?
Absolutely, because especially if that's the environment that you grew up in. Like, I'll be honest and I'll be transparent. Like, I grew up around toxic relationships. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take the responsibility and the accountability to shift that and do something different. It's comfortable to me because that's what I've observed my whole childhood.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? But
Agreed.
it's uncomfortable to choose and do something different, but I feel like that's my responsibility to do.
I agree. What do you feel? Some people are attracted to toxic relationships?
Yeah, definitely. Like going off of what Ashley said, like when you grow up around an environment like that, that's what you attract.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Because sometimes, like it's crazy because you're right. Because they say that a person, like a woman that was abused,
Yeah.
tends to look for men that do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? And someone that was a rape victim tend to rape somebody else.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like a passed on trauma, right?
Yeah.
But for me, one thing I've noticed, like, even with seeing the relationships in 2023,
Mhm.
my main reasons why I have problems with it, my main reason, truth,
Yeah.
I think some people, and I don't want you to hit this good.
Okay.
I'm being honest.
Okay.
I think some people overvalue themselves. And I'm talking about men and I'm talking about women,
Okay.
right? When you sit down and have certain discussions, I'm like, wow. I've noticed there are a bunch of people who can't bring certain things to the table, but expect certain people to bring certain things to the table. I find that to be crazy, right? And I'm going to say why.
Okay.
You're basically saying your 20, 30, 40 years of existing, you didn't care about building yourself up. So now this man better have this because of the fact that I don't have it, but I still do want it. So guess what? That's the gold digger to me, right?
Okay.
That's the gold digger. When I see the gold diggers, the ones who really don't want to put in work, but their requirements are extreme of a man.
Okay.
Oh, he better take me on vacation. This is the regular conversations we have, guys.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is kind of crazy.
Right.
But if I speak on the women, they hate me. And I'm like, yo, if you can't, okay, I'll give you one last. I was talking to a girl back, maybe a couple years back. I like Rolex, right? And I had a Rolex on. She was like, oh, so I know I'm getting one for my birthday.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, was like, let me ask you a question. She said, what? I said, do you have a Rolex now? She said, no. I said, why dating me do you expect a Rolex now? Okay, they say we're supposed to up your life and enhance you, right? I get all of that. But I'm like, not materially. Psychologically, I'm going to make you feel, I know I want you to be happy. I want to add the IER in your life. I want to bring the happier to your life. Let me say this one more time. She didn't have a Rolex, but yet still my requirements of being with her is buying a Rolex. Most people tend to want things that they don't bring to the table.
Okay.
I said to her, I'm not here to make you happy. Let's get that straight. Men's job is not to make a woman happy.
Yeah.
A man's job is to make the woman happier by adding the IER in her life and vice versa for the woman.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a man is respected based on, girl, he don't make you happy because you're not happy yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why.
That's true.
You're not happy yourself, so therefore it's impossible for a human to make a human happy. They can make him happier, but not happy. You have to be self-happy. You have to love what you see when you look in the mirror. You have to respect yourself, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, he can make it, enhance it,
Right.
and vice versa for her, for him.
Right.
Because I used to be insecure. I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm insecure, what I used to do? I felt like I needed 15 girls to feel like I was that guy. I'm going to call it what it is. In my mind, the more women I had, the better I was that guy.
Yeah. I like that. That's honest.
But I'm very honest.
That's honest.
That's why my people rock with me, right? I tell the truth. Truth be told, I was so insecure that I believed that if I had a ton of women and I could manipulate these ton of women, it made me feel like I was a man. Really being beta, because that is not alpha ways, right? I respect a man that tells a woman absolutely the truth, like, hey, this is what it is. And vice versa for a woman. I don't respect a woman that plays on the fact that a man is looking for something serious, knowing she doesn't. right? Just be honest. I'm just having fun. Let's enjoy life. See where we go.
Mhm.
I can respect a person that talks like that. But the problem is the misleading aspect.
Mhm.
I'm gonna lead you on, but then again, here comes the karma.
Mhm.
Because what goes around comes right back around.
Mhm.
So now being a college student, right? And being in school, what do you see, as far as dating? What do you see?
I guess I see a big, well, the normalization of hookup culture definitely. Like nobody wants. People feel like a relationship is like,
Too much work.
yeah, it's like you're in jail or something. Like they want the relationship but without the title. Like they want what
Let me give you a
come.
bomb. Yo, get that. Hold on. Start from the hookup. Bring that. Get her on this one. I want you to start from when you said the hookup culture.
Uh,
Because that is a very prolific and prominent word now. That is really a culture now. That is real.
yeah.
So let's hear this.
Okay, definitely there's this normalization of hookup culture and people wanting a relationship but without the title, for sure.
Keep going. Elaborate more into it.
Like people want to feel all the things of a relationship. They want to have someone to rely on, someone to put their problems onto, but they don't want what a relationship ensues. Because when you're not dating someone, you can't be like, "Oh, I don't like that you're doing this or that," because they're going to be like, "Well, we're not dating." So you just have to accept it. So I think yeah, like definitely people just wanna it's like a gaslighting to me personally. Like I feel like it's pretty messed up to want the
Cake and eat it too.
yeah, exactly.
But look, guys, this is the girl that just said she don't know anything about dating. That was amazing and very well spoken and very well explained because I agree 1,000% with what you just said. People do want the luxuries,
Yeah.
but they don't want the job, right? And you saying truth, and that goes for both parties, right? And I will hate to say this, I've noticed that there are women that trick women out of their spots. And what I say by this is, girl, I'm having so much fun being single. Meanwhile, she has a decent guy. He's really a decent guy. And in her heart of hearts, she start feeling like she's missing something. And ultimately, because notice, women divorce more than men, right? Women initiate divorce. Women sign more. Look it up. It's not my opinion, especially in the black culture. Women they ensue divorce
That's true.
because a lot of them feel like they're missing something. And I'm not gonna say every relationship of divorce is not because of beating. Every relationship is not because of economics. Every relationship is not because the reality of all things is if you met a guy who's making 40,000 and you're making 40,000, y'all should know how to live within that 40,000.
Okay.
But if you want to live above your means and take trips and travel the world, of course we're gonna be broke
Yeah.
because we're on credit cards now. We're playing with debt. So the reality of all things, if we can stay, if a Hispanic couple can have a woman could be a laundromat worker and a man be a roofer and they survive amazing. Why two decent professional people can't? It's because they live beyond their means.
Right.
And that's what we need to acknowledge as a culture. We spend way too much money than what we make.
Right.
We live way beyond our means. So let me say this one more time. You can have a Hispanic couple, right, with not too prominent jobs, and they can sustain their household. But then you'll take a black couple who have decent, okay jobs, and they can't sustain it because they live beyond their means. So now it becomes a battle of, I need shoes and I'm shopping all the time when you know our light bill is due. And vice versa for the man. You out gambling when you know for a fact the bills are due. It goes both ways. It's not just men wasting money, it's both parties wasting money, right? But I will say women are more expensive than men. I had to throw that in there. You agree?
Yeah. I take care of myself. I'm expensive.
That's why I like girls. I like girls that could cook. They be like, I want to go out to eat. I'm like, you got a lot to them. Like, your food better than Philippe Chow. What? You want to go spend money at Philippe Chow and your food is fire. That's why you got complimented every time she cook. You be like, yo, baby, throw it there. Right? But I'm just saying, so now from a man's aspect, what do you think men can do different to make the relationships better in 2023?
Hmm. I think men need to know what they want and stick to what they want. Because again, I feel like men settle a lot. Like I feel like men, and it may very well be because they're not where they want to be, but I feel like if you're not where you want to be at the level that you can get what you actually want, I think you should focus on getting where you want to be instead of settling down, because you're spreading your energy when you could just be focusing on one thing. It takes a lot to be in a relationship, to sustain a relationship, a lot of energy, dealing with somebody else, checking in with somebody else, etc. So I feel like stop settling. I feel like everybody should stop settling. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Agreed.
figure out what it is that you want and then become that and then attract that and then sustain that.
So here's my question. What if you are where you want to be, right?
Uh-huh.
And you know that there's somebody, this is a story that came to me the other day.
Okay.
What if you are where you want to be
Uh-huh.
and you financially, you rising,
Mhm.
right? Because you're sustainable,
Mhm.
but the person that you want,
Mhm.
she's not ready. What do you think the guy should do? Should he, you know this is the one. You know
Uh-huh.
that she's the one for you. Like, guys, stay with me.
Okay.
I want you guys to answer this on the live.
Okay.
If you know, whether you're a man or a woman, you know for a fact
Mhm.
you and this person is very compatible.
Mhm.
You know that this person could be the one, the husband of your life,
Mhm.
and she could be the wife of your life,
Mhm.
right? And y'all can make a great couple, power couple.
Mhm.
So do you A,
Mhm.
wait for the person,
Mhm.
or do you B, just say maybe in another lifetime?
Why isn't the person ready?
Because they feel like maybe they still got things they got to get done.
Like what?
I don't know.
I feel like if you know that for a fact, I would assist or help.
Elaborate.
Again, it would be, you have to open that line of communication. Okay, why aren't you ready? What's going on? You know, and it kind of shows somebody that you're interested in them too. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, I'm ready for you. I'm ready to be in a relationship with you. What's wrong with you? Just be in a relationship with me. It's like, okay, well, why don't you ready to be in a relationship? You see what I'm saying? Do you feel like you want to do your own thing, or do you feel like there's genuinely a problem or something that you need to fix in your life first prior to spreading your time into a relationship? You see what I'm saying? The
Agreed.
person, it depends on where the person is in life as well. You see what I'm saying? If I have projects and stuff that I'm working on and focus on, and I don't want to spread that energy necessarily yet until my projects are complete or I feel comfortable with where they're at. You see what I'm saying? That might be what's hindering me from being in a relationship. But again, it depends on the person, and the way you find that out is by asking.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was talking to this girl. She was like, she wanted a relationship and I wasn't ready.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why I wasn't ready, because I know psychologically I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wouldn't be a good guy to her.
Right.
So I didn't want to do it.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
But then when later on came, she had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, what am I to do?
Yeah.
And I knew the guy wasn't better than me. Sound cocky, I don't care. Sometimes you got to put the toot your own on. I'm sorry. Some people get mad when you know what you bring to the table, right? If you know you can cook and you be like, yo, can you cook? And you be like, yeah, I can cook. Is that cocky? But if you really can cook, then it's truth, right? But again, now you fast forward 4 years, her and the guy having problems. Who do you think phone she's texting and DMing, right?
Uh-huh.
But now I don't want it
Okay.
because I felt like she didn't make me a priority.
But I also feel like that's an ego thing.
It is, but you know why?
Mhm.
You got to keep in mind, though, you dubbed me. And it's like, you know, I'm getting, you dubbed me.
But
Like,
it, at the same time, it's like if somebody dubbed you because they couldn't be what you needed them to be, that's a valid reason.
get this. Watch this.
Okay.
When you go to a restaurant,
Okay.
stay with me. I want both of y'all to answer this.
All right.
When you go to a restaurant,
Uh-huh.
do you order leftovers?
No, I don't order leftovers.
But that's how I would feel.
Okay, that's how you would feel because you're in your ego analyzing that situation.
No, it's the truth. It's like, yo, I wanted you.
Uh-huh.
And I was willing to share my world with you.
Okay.
Because sometimes I feel like women feel like only they're bringing, it's like the gift is getting them, right? It's both.
Okay.
We live in a society where there are more single women than there are single men.
Okay.
Men can be single by choice.
Okay.
Women, a lot of women are single because of no choice, because of lack of men. The ratio is just bad. It's off. Would you say it's like a 3 to 4 to 1?
No. And that's so interesting that you brought that up. No, the ratio of women to men is 1 to 1.
Okay.
It used to be 3 to 1.
I don't believe it.
Look it up now.
did.
You can look it up right
Where?
now. It's 1 to 1. There's
Where?
1 woman for every 1 man on earth right now.
If
It
you
used
count
to
you counting
be-
blacks?
What you mean am I counting blacks?
I'm talking about, you talking about
everybody.
black There's more
I'm talking
black.
about everybody,
Okay.
inclusive. There's one man to every one woman now on Earth. It used to be 3 females to every 1 male. Now it's 1 to 1.
So let's put something into the equation, right? We're gonna look it up. Thank you for this. It says the United States has more females than males since 1946, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. In 2021, the population sex ratio in the U.S. was 98 males per 100 females. So that's like
1 to 1.
no.
98 to 100.
By 2050, it is expected to be, keep going. Why don't show the rest?
99. 98. Come on. If we round up, it's
So
it's
now
1 to 1.
let's go into the acceptance.
Okay.
Would you say that there are more gay men than ever?
Would I say there are more gay? I think there are more gay people than ever.
Okay. Would you say that there are
I-
still mass incarceration?
Would I say that there's still mass incarceration? Sure. Yeah.
We got to eliminate these people. They don't exist.
Okay.
You know, I'm not saying gay people don't exist. Let me take that back. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is they're not looking for a female.
Okay, but then I live in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? So being in Atlanta, I've realized there are a lot of LGBTQ people out here. It's not only men. I feel like sometimes when especially in the Black community, when
There's
we
a
talk
lot.
about gayness, we only associate that with males, and males are missing.
Agreed.
No,
Agreed.
there are a lot
Yeah.
of women
Agreed.
that love women and stay with women and marry women. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me make it even better. Would you say that men or women are doing better financially?
Collectively, women are doing better
Okay.
financially.
So now, by knowing this, like for a fact, statistically, right?
Okay.
Would you say those men that aren't doing well, basically, they're kicked off the island?
I don't feel like they're kicked off the island. To be honest, what I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing a whole bunch of men that are using women.
Because the women have no choice.
The women have no choice.
Most women keep chasing the same guys.
Okay.
When do you agree with that?
Sure.
Why?
What do you mean by why?
They chase the same guys because of stability. Those guys are those are the economically scholars. So they chase those guys because those guys are the financial scholars. Right?
See, they want those guys. One thing I think people need to notice is what people are saying or what people are putting out there ain't necessarily what they're actually experiencing.
Okay.
I feel like people take social media to heart and feel like that's what's really going on. That don't be what's really going on. Like a woman will get on anywhere and say, I only date men with money and I only want a guy with money, and in her bed is a broke guy.
So you think agree.
Yeah.
And but when she goes out in the world, the guys that have money, right?
Mhm.
Just like a girl with money or a woman with money. I mean, let me take it back. A woman that's very attractive
Mhm.
and a man with money
Mhm.
are equivalent in the dating world, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we agree? No, it is because
Yeah.
the men value the beauty,
Yeah.
women value the provision.
Right.
So if the women are valuing the provision,
Yeah.
that means the men that are economically stable have more options, and the women that are beautiful have more options, right?
Correct.
So if that's the case, that means more men are doing less financially than ever. So that means
Okay.
more women they really lust over those guys,
Yeah.
but they settle for those guys
Right.
but she'll never visually see him as a man.
Um.
She loves him. She don't respect him. Ash, you think she respect him? You got a man laying on your couch playing 2K while you at work, and you respect him. He like this.
See, not me.
But let's
Not
talk
me.
10 women. Out of 10 women that has this guy,
Okay.
how many do you think respect it?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they settle, but do they
Okay.
really want that?
Yeah, but I feel like people settle. I feel like that's a common thing. I feel like women and men are both settling. See, like there's a lot of men with money. There's another thing. There's a lot of men with money that they settle for women too, right? Because they
Agree.
have so many options. They, even if they like or they're attracted to the strong alpha women, sometimes she's too much for him. So they will settle with women that they can control.
Agree, because you who wants to keep challenges for their masculinity? We do that when we gotta go in the world every day. Every day I go out as a black man. I'm saying this on record. Every day I go out as a black man, I have to prove that I'm a strong man. Every day. And if I cry, no one wants to hear it. So every day I don't want my woman who I say this is supposed to be my mate, whether anger or not. One thing I rule myself is in anger, I will never disrespect someone I care for.
Right.
Right? I may speak on how I feel, but I will never let it go outside of the context of what I'm mad at. I'm mad that you crashed the car. I'm not mad that you this or that and that and this and that. And your mama this and this. It's kind of crazy. What does your mother got to do with you crashing my car? Right? And that's become normal arguments as far as men and women. We bring up things that have no relevance to the issue. And therefore, now what happens is, as the respects, I don't want to be loved. I want respect. Respect go further for me than love. I understand love. I get it. But I've hurt people I loved 1,000 times.
Right.
But I've never hurt no one I respect.
Right.
Right? Let me say that one more time. I've hurt tons of people I love, but I've never really hurted anyone I respect. So when I look for a person, I look for a person to respect me. I don't really care about love. And respect is when I call your phone, you answer.
That's what?
That's respect. That's respect. I'm going to tell you something.
That's respect.
Yo, who do you send a voicemail? Someone you don't respect. Agree? Who do you send a voicemail?
Who do I send a voicemail? I send anybody to voicemail that's calling me while I'm in the middle of doing something.
But if they don't get a text like I'm busy,
huh?
If you don't shoot them a text, that means there's no
respect.
respect.
On what I'm doing at the time.
Okay, let me ask you. Who do you send a voicemail?
I mean, if I'm
send
busy,
anybody
I'm
to
busy.
voicemail.
Yeah.
If you call your phone right now, you gonna send a voicemail?
If it's on Do Not Disturb.
If Beyonce calls your phone right now, you send it to voicemail?
How would I know it's Beyonce?
You have their number. Let's just say you have a friendship.
I mean,
you could be honest. You could be honest.
I mean, to me, it's not about the person. Like, I don't equate it to respect. I just feel like if I'm busy, like, I just won't answer, or I'll get to you later.
You know where I'm going with that? In a lot of cases, right? And I've noticed this. A lot of women will respect their boss more than they respect the man that they call their man. Right?
Okay.
They will cater to the boss. And a lot of men do that with their jobs too.
Yeah.
For me, a paycheck shouldn't be more valuable than me as your mate. And I would never put a paycheck over my woman. We need the bag. But once you start valuing the bag more than your person, you're not human no more. You become the system. And that's what the system is procreating.
And again, like, I feel like there's a certain amount of care that goes into building a relationship. And I feel like if you're not where you want to be yet, it's better just to focus on one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, fill one cup first. And then I seriously think that's what it is. I feel like if you are to focus up all your energy on becoming stable like you want to be, and then you have time and energy and respect and all that to actually build with somebody. I feel like if I'm trying to do both, and I've been in the predicament where I've tried to do both and it didn't work. It was like too much of a distraction because people do have expectations.
The wrong person.
I don't feel like it's the wrong person. I feel like people just have expectations, right? When you pick up, if somebody calls me, they need me to pick up, or else they feel a type of way or they feel disrespected. But I might just be in the middle of like masterminding something, writing a business plan, doing something, needing all my focus right then and there at that moment. And I'm not picking up my phone for anybody, right? But again, when you like somebody, you take everything personally.
But what if it's a consistent thing though? The right person will understand, don't you think so? Yeah. I think the right person will understand.
You feel like but I do understand that there is a certain amount of communication that goes with it. But again, I still feel like when you're developing a relationship, people have expectations no matter how much you communicate. I was in a predicament where I was talking to somebody for 3 days, right? The third day, I couldn't answer the phone. They started like sending me text message like, I don't like how...
You know who she was dating? You know who? No? That was Jeffrey Dahmer. She was dating Jeffrey Dahmer.
3 days. And I had to communicate. I said, you just walked into my life.
Wow.
I'm not used to accommodating somebody.
That's
it takes time to grow that level of accommodation.
Ted Bundy, you're right.
You see what I'm saying? 3 days, and then they ended up unfollowing me and blocking me and everything. Like on the fourth day.
He's a little feminine.
Exactly.
I'm just call it.
That's a lot out here now too. But again, I still think that when you like somebody, you have expectations of them. You feel a type of way if they don't answer immediately, or you're looking for, you have like control. Like you need to release control in situations like that too, because not everybody has bad intentions. And I feel like everybody's so scarred and everybody's expecting people to have bad intentions. And it's like, I don't have any bad intentions.
You know something funny? Like when we one thing I want to change in today's society? I've noticed that when we say things like, Men do this, women do that.
Mhm.
Everything we say men do and we say women do, both sexes do.
Mhm.
It's not like back in the days where only women did certain things.
Right.
Back in the days when you said cheating, it was particularly men.
Yeah.
Now it's both parties,
Right.
right? Women play just like men play, right? Everything is just, I think we need to just generalize it now.
Yeah.
Just generalize it because I feel like both sex do bad,
Yeah.
right? And the sad part is, I hate to say this, when a woman plays, she loses more value in the dating market than a man, right? And the reason why is because I feel like the higher end men, it's not an insecurity for a man to care about where their woman's been before them. I don't think that's insecurity. I think that's more like I want someone that respects themselves.
Okay.
I don't want a person that's putting themselves all over there,
Okay.
right? Don't get me wrong. People have partners and experience before them. That's one thing.
Mhm.
I'm not insecure because I don't want a girl that got 60 bodies. That makes me insecure.
Mm-mm.
I'm like, I don't want herpes. I don't want AIDS. I'm not saying because she's been that, it raises the chance every partner she brings, right?
Mhm.
So her pH balance might be off a little bit.
Her
I'm being
pH
honest.
balance might be over.
When women have a lot of,
So is
right?
is a woman wrong if she feels the same way?
No, she has
Okay.
every bit of right. A woman has a right. See, this is what it is.
Mhm.
Women will accept a guy who's been around the block and back, right? They will.
Okay.
Being honest, Ash.
Okay.
I'm not saying Ashley.
Okay.
Women will accept that.
Okay.
Men don't.
Okay.
And then they get mad that men don't want them for being like that.
Okay.
And that's unfair. Men choose not to be with those women.
Mhm.
If you want to be with the village, then be with the village.
Okay.
We say, our favorite line for men is, she's for the streets. And if a man feels like she's for the streets, he's going to leave her in the streets. He's going to play like, yo, what you doing? I respect it. YOLO, do you. But in his heart of hearts, he don't see her as a future investment.
Mhm.
It's a temp situation.
Mhm.
It's like having a temp job, right? That's what he looks at it as.
A placeholder.
Yes. But again, a man chooses that because that's not insecurity.
Mhm.
Men don't like that
Mhm.
because in their heart, we still want to believe that there's some ounce of Cinderella in you and there's some ounce of Snow White in you. Men genuinely want to feel like that,
Mhm.
meaning she doesn't see herself as a rag,
Mhm.
meaning everybody could just use her.
Mhm.
Men don't want to feel like that,
Mhm.
right? And it's just, that's how I feel. And I feel like most women that tend to be like that, because they make a lot of money. So they're very attractive. They can get away with it. And that's because the man is insecure. He dating looks. She's cute.
Mhm.
But if you're not a beautiful person, you got to be a little bit more conscious.
Okay.
Because men can't take it. I'm being honest, they can't. I've talked to 1,000 men.
Mhm.
They can't take it. They look at it like, yo, that's crazy. And I'm
Mhm.
like, it's bad that men do it,
Mhm.
but I don't think men can give what they can. They can't take what they give.
Nah, men definitely can't take
Mm-mm.
what they give for
Mm-mm.
sure.
I would die.
But
I'm not gonna even lie to you. Yo, imagine the woman that you love and you care about, and you find out you had to work 6 months to be intimate with her, and somebody hit it in 6 hours. You're like, what? Like what? What did I do wrong? I could.
I also feel like though, to be fair, people grow and people do a lot of things before they know themselves. They
I
come
agree.
to know themselves. So I feel like men are the same way. Like men do a lot of stupid stuff before they get to know who they are too.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? So
Agreed.
I feel like again, it's choices. You get it? Everybody has a choice and can't nobody take away from nobody's choice. If that's what you're not into, if that's an intolerable for you, if that's a no-go for you, that's cool. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You set your standards, and that's what I'm saying. It goes back to knowing exactly what you want and sticking to that. You see what I'm
Agreed.
saying? If that's your standard, hold that standard.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I feel like the reason why women are okay with it, at least from a woman's perspective, is like, it don't make me feel no way. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that is aside from me. I wouldn't even think about it.
What do you think that's become accepted because that's just society and it's normal at this point?
Do I feel no? Because I'm a very individualistic person. I really do take the time to assess things for myself and decide what I believe about it. Right? It doesn't really stuff like that don't bother me because I don't compare myself to anybody. I feel like subconsciously the reason why that would bother somebody is if you're comparing yourself
Could be.
or if you have the fear of being compared.
Could be. So you think basically if a guy doesn't like a woman that's been promiscuous,
Mhm.
you think it's because he's comparing it to the guys?
Yes.
You think all guys think like that?
Yes.
What do you guys
But
think?
at a very subconscious, minuscule level, yes. I feel like that's the issue.
I think, like you said, we like the holiness of a woman,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
We value that. Yo, you'll take a guy who will make a lot of money.
Mhm.
We'll take a girl that don't make a lot of money because of the fact that she's
Yeah.
holy
Yeah.
and clean and she
Mhm.
respects herself.
Mhm.
So that to me says a lot.
Mhm.
That a guy know in his heart he doesn't want his woman being like that.
There's actually a theory though. Here's I'll give you a woman's perspective. There's a theory in psychology called the Madonna whore complex. So
Let's say this.
the Madonna whore complex is men group or categorize women into two different subjects: the holy, beautiful, wifey image, and then the whore.
The Saudi.
However, here, let me tell you how this typically plays out.
He bags
So,
Saudi and dates a
He
Saudi.
marries the holy one, and then especially after she has children, he becomes sexually disinterested in her because he puts her on a pedestal where she's too holy.
You don't want to do nothing freaky with her.
Especially if he watches porn or has a little porn issue, the situation becomes exacerbated.
Let me say this. I didn't say this. I'm just saying this when my guy wrote this. He said a rich man can change a poor woman's life,
Okay.
but a rich woman would not look in a poor man's direction. What do you think about that?
Again, I'll go on a case by case basis. I feel like we love generalizations, but generalizations don't and can't encompass everybody. But I feel like typically, generally, yeah, that's what it is because everybody's scared to get used. You see what I'm saying? I feel like men don't care to get used as long as they're getting what they want from the situation. I feel like a rich woman has more to lose in that situation.
I agree. I agree. What do you think about that?
Yeah, like I agree with what Ashley said. Like I feel like the thing is with rich women, like, or just women in general, like, I guess finance does play a big role in what they're looking for. So I guess with a rich woman, maybe she would pursue someone that's on the same level as her, or if not the same level, on top. I would
Yeah.
say.
No, I agree. When you said she has more, I agree.
She has more to
100%.
lose, yeah.
Agreed. You know what? Like when I sit back, I evaluate. Like I give you a story. I'm not gonna say where. I was out one night, bottle girl.
Mhm.
I know her personally.
Mhm.
She's basically telling me, "You ain't never had a woman like me in your life," and I'm like, "Yo, no disrespect. Like, what type of woman? Like to me,
Mhm.
not based on profession. Like I don't. If just because you're attractive don't mean anything, right? I'm not the guy that values looks
Mhm.
as much as most men,
Mhm.
right? I've dated fire, I've dated mediocre, and I got some skeletons in my closet that we're gonna keep in there. Right? I got some skeletons. Everybody got some skeletons. Listen, let's call it what it is. We all got skeletons, and we all got that person that we wish we could eliminate from our dating history, right? Ashley, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. We all do. But anyway, it is what it is. But sometimes those be the best experience of learning, right?
Sure.
We hate it in the moment, but it's a good experience. But what I'm saying is, I've noticed that tons of people believe that the looks overvalue anything else because most men are like that. And I would generalize that. Most men are extremely compelled about looks. Looks is everything to them. For me, it's like, okay, she's
Because
cute.
I think also it depends on where the man is and how comfortable he is with himself.
I agree.
Because the thing about looks, having a beautiful woman on your arm raises your status socially.
Depends on the room you in.
I think any room, if you're next to a very beautiful, very attractive woman, you raise your social status. People want to come talk to you and figure out how you get that, for sure.
Agree, but I agree with that statement. That I will take that. But for me personally, I look at the most confident guy as the one that walks in with average Joe. He loves his woman, right? And he looks at her as the Bugatti that she is
Yeah.
because of her ability to consistently. See, the thing is, I hate to say this, a lot of the times we overlook those average Joe women and not see that what she does for him is more than just surface level, right?
Okay.
We don't understand that men, we have a lot of emotional traumas that we haven't. You guys talk to each other a lot, right? most men will find a guy that's almost equivalent to his situation to maybe vent to. If I'm going through a divorce, either A, I'm gonna find somebody that's a divorcee, or B, someone that's going through like a problem like me.
Right.
Most women will find whoever will listen to them.
Mm.
Would you agree with that statement?
Most women, yeah. Me,
I'm not saying Ashley again.
okay. Most women.
Me personally, I would find somebody that's going through what I'm going
Yeah.
through. Like most women,
yeah. I think that's true. Yeah, because again, sometimes it's not necessarily about advice. It's just venting. Women are prone to venting. Women love to talk about how they're feeling emotionally.
he said that most women, most rich couples aren't attractive.
Most rich couples.
That's what he said. That's what he said. Yo, guys, do me a favor. Call in. We're going to get one phone call. 516-253-1150. 516-253-1150. We're going to take one phone call. We want to see somebody call in and tell us pretty much what you thought of this episode so far today. We're going to wrap it up in not too soon. We're going to get a phone call. But he said he feel like most rich couples are not attractive.
I mean, hey. I think one person might be attractive, the other one might not. I think that's typically how it goes.
She just hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
Looks fade. Yo, you know the saddest part is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is my family member I'm talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, she's a beautiful girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's about 32, 31.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, you're on the clock.
Jesus.
But it's the truth. It's actually the truth.
Elaborate.
See, she already jumped to conclusions before she even heard my point.
Nah, I'm saying elaborate.
Women, fertility only lasts but so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about wealthy people who can freeze their eggs and, right? The average person can't afford to do that.
Okay.
Yes. We're talking about standard,
Okay.
right? So most women on the clock.
Okay, for lack of better words, I'll go with that.
I said most, so I gave some not.
Okay.
Most.
Sure.
So I said to her, I said, you're on the clock. She said, what do you mean? I said, okay, I think she's like 31, 32.
Mm-hmm.
I said, as you get older, your pregnancy risk gets higher.
Okay.
Meaning there's a lot of the deformities a child can produce because of the age the mother's having a child. Okay. Would you agree with that statement?
I agree.
Would you agree?
Wait, question. Does she want to have kids?
Of course.
Like she said she wants to have kids. Like it's not an assumption.
No, she told me.
She's okay.
He said, yeah.
She told me. So, but I said to her, she's like, in her mind, she doesn't see that a lot of the potential good guys, she's pushing them away. Well, one thing I think about her, I don't like, I think she's very attracted to the bad guy. And then the sad part is the bad guy is going to go to bad jail. And she's going to be out here badly raising her kid by her bad self. And this is me being her bad cousin. Because in her mind, I'm being a bad guy. But in my mind, I'm being a good guy by telling her reality. Yeah. I'm like, listen, I don't want to see my family member struggling with a child because of the fact that you're only attracted to a certain kind of guy. Because, quote unquote, it helps your insecurities. You like the roughneck. You like to walk in rooms and people fear him. Right? Okay. She likes that.
You know what's crazy? I was listening to something the other day, and there's a theory in which a lot of women nowadays, they have a fantasy in which they want to tame a man.
I can see that.
So it's like a Beauty and the Beast theory.
Sick. That's sick.
Yeah. So it's like you want to take this rough beast-like guy and then tame him. It boosts your ego. It would boost your ego. And I think the same is true in the opposite too. I think some men or men in general like to tame or at the very least control women, and it makes them feel good about themselves.
I agree. But that's weird because that's because of insecurities again.
Right, for sure.
Me, I don't want to control no woman.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you like, where you at? Yeah. Babe, what time you get home? Right? That's a conversation. That's grown-up dating.
Right.
Babe, what time you get home?
Yeah.
Oh, why? I just want to make sure I don't want to go to sleep and not see you. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Things like that. You know, where you at? I'm not asking where you at to put a tracker on you. I'm asking because I want to make sure you're okay. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes adult dating entails you asking questions that maybe your parents would have asked. Yeah. Right? But it's adult dating. Yeah. You know, giving a pinpoint location of where you're going to be in case something happened. Because I would like to believe that my woman and me being her man, I'm the first point of contact, right? If something happens. Right. I would like to think that. So it's like, this is things we got to get out of. I remember my boy did it. He called his woman, was like, I'm going out with the fellas. And it was like, yo, you soft. And I'm like, that's not soft. That's respect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Right?
sure.
That's respect. But they didn't see it that way. He was soft to them. And he's a sucker. I'm like, that's crazy.
And I feel like that's true too. I feel like there's a lot of peer pressure for men in regards to dating and how
Both.
they deal with their women. I would say that true. Yeah, but
If he
I
ugly,
feel
he
like,
better have a bag. To y'all, if the dude is ugly, he better have a bag. And if he's attractive, he could get a pass for
I don't
being
know.
broke.
I feel like women are more reluctant to give an opinion, an unwarranted opinion about somebody's man. I think the problem is that women, again, take too much advice or talk too much about their relationships. But I feel like a man will deadass tell you that your girl's ugly, unprovoked, unasked.
It depends on how sensitive he is.
Huh?
It depends. Because see, we can have a conversation with our mans, and if you know that he's tender, like you push him, he's a little smushy, you won't do it.
But you're not supposed to.
As soon as he leave the room, you're gonna be like, yo, his joint is ugly, fam. Oh my. We do that. I'm not gonna lie. You be like, yo, where you find her?
Like I actually had a conversation with somebody. They said when they were
She
in
might
high
have a
school,
beautiful heart.
they were in high school, they had a girlfriend and they loved their girlfriend and their friends made fun of her so bad that he ended up breaking up with her.
It happens. I've seen women do that to guys.
That's really sad.
I know guys who literally, oh my God, practically worship the ground the girl walked on.
Yeah.
And she didn't like him because he was too soft.
Yeah.
Ash, I'm telling you.
Okay, but I will say again, one is choices because hey, let's take some accountability with women. You see what I'm saying? I took some accountability on behalf of women. It's our choices, but sometimes it's y'all choices too, and y'all don't want to eat that.
No, 100% I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
I think most men date based on their level of security. I
Yeah,
think if
for
a man
sure.
is comfortable dating a woman that lives in a room, he's gonna always live in a room.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. I truly believe that if a man, right, he wants to go to a certain level, I think he needs to find a woman that wants to go to that level with him.
For sure.
I think if you want to get to certain altitudes, you got to find a woman that is comfortable being at that altitude.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to literally stay at her altitude.
Yeah.
Men get comfortable fast.
I also feel
Real
like
fast.
people don't discuss where they want to end up or where they want to end too. Because if you have somebody that's like ridiculously ambitious and they don't know when to settle down or they don't want to, or you guys haven't discussed the point at which you guys settle down and just, vibe, that could be an issue because if I want to be a billionaire, right?
Do you?
And you, yeah, for sure.
Grr.
And you want 100K, like you're good settling at 100K. That's all you need. You wanna stop working. You just want to settle down, build on your family, work, all that. You know what I'm saying? That even if we were traveling at the same pace before we got to that threshold, things are gonna change. And I feel like people outgrow each other a lot because they haven't discussed where do you really want to go and how far do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to push it? You see what I'm saying?
And that man that made that 100,000,
Mm-hmm.
he falls in the 4 to 6% of earners in this country,
And
which is phenomenal.
And that's cool. That's cool for somebody that wants to end up there.
He got a ribbon. He placed. He did good.
No, nobody's saying he didn't do good. That's the thing.
Okay.
It's just, again, if you guys have to want to end up in the same place to not outgrow each other in a sense, right?
Your ambition can be extreme though.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
But mine can be too.
But let's scale it down so it makes a little bit more sense, right? Let's say that a woman and a man got together in high school, right? They started dating in high school. One of them goes to college, the other one doesn't go to college. Now she's in a different space, talking to different people. She speaks a different language. Her communication style is different. She's outgrown him in a sense.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? She's not wrong to leave. Get it?
It's normal.
Exactly. People
Because she
outgrow each
transitioned from
other,
high school dating.
but they never really discussed or they didn't have an understanding on where they were going together.
Agreed.
So yeah, billionaire might be extreme of an example, but we can scale it down to where it makes practical sense for a lot of different people. People don't have conversations and a good understanding of what they're doing before they do it. People just meet each other. They have great chemistry. Oh, let's get together. Let's be together. We're not having conversations. We're not thinking about where we're going. Like, it's not built to last.
I agree. Most of us think like that. Most of us. I will say that that's a fact what you just said. We feel like love will always prevail.
And then we have this issue with time, right? We start to get entitled when we have a certain amount of time with somebody.
Somebody asked the question.
What's the
I'm going to make
question?
sure you see her face. She said, I want to know why she wants to be a billionaire.
you want to know why I want to be a billionaire, I'm not gunning for it, but I feel like it's part of my path.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gunning for it. I'm not even gonna lie. And the reason being is because numbers have no limits. And as long as God give me breath in my lungs, I shouldn't set limits on myself. Right? And the person that tends to don't set limits on themselves, people tend to not respect them
Yeah.
because they say, what is too much? The Bible says God will pour out the best blessings in abundance to the point where you can't receive it, right?
Right.
So why am I the person putting limits on myself?
Right.
I think we spit in the face of God when we tell him what we can and cannot do, especially when we never tried,
Right.
right?
And I think that's the thing too. Sometimes people get uncomfortable with your ambitions because they've capped themselves.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? I don't have any limits. I don't have any caps on myself. I've done things that I didn't even think I would be. I've been in spaces I didn't even think I would reach already.
You answered the question of what your boo look like, what your boo would look like.
What my boo would look like? I told you I didn't have any physical
No,
characteristics.
look like it's job, especially economically. What economically? What would the ideal man make being with Ashley? I'm asking you, Ness. We ready?
Getting together, I think he should be stable, sustainable.
What if he's sustainable at 30K?
That's not enough for me.
But that we got to get more logistics because you said sustainable, meaning he doesn't ask anybody for anything. He could live in a room. He could have his own car. He could have his own job and have his own savings account and don't need anybody for anything. That's sustainable.
That's fair. I think that I'm not even concerned with numbers per se. I don't have this number like, oh, he has to make 50K or just on the third. Like, I feel like it's just where you headed. If we're headed in the same area, in the same place, and I see that you making steps towards that for real and not for fake, because it's people that's gonna tell you they want to do this, that, and the third. They don't have no plan. They don't make no steps, no nothing. Like they sit the same place that you left them at is where you're gonna come find them when it's done. You get me?
Agreed.
I want somebody that's headed there and making steps. That's my vibe. But I don't have like a particular number like, oh, God got to make 100K, gotta make 75K. It's like, what are you doing? What's your process looking like?
Agreed. Let me clear something up because I don't want people to think that I put my cousin on a clock and just left her on a clock.
Nah, you left her on a clock.
So, okay, right now she's talking to a scammer. Right? And here's the catch-22. The scammer has this idea about doing all these cars and putting on Turo, and he has a lot of great ideas, right? But here's the issue I have personally. In my mind, everyone that does anything illegal eventually goes to jail.
Yeah.
They eventually, now you're going to have to deal with courts, lawyers, you're going to have to deal with those things. I said, yeah, be prepared for that, right? In her mind, she's like, why are you wishing bad luck on them? I'm like, for one, you're too old to be talking like that. You sound crazy, right? You sound crazy as hell. That's like saying you're going to be a lawyer without a degree. That sounds crazy. That's how bad it sounds, right? That's like saying you're going to write a book and you didn't even start writing. Right? That means you're falsifying your mind to believe something that's not reality. If you started writing a book, you're writing a book. Right? No matter what, we're not talking about sales. You said, I'm writing a book. We just said that's what it is. But anyway, so I asked her, I said, why I say she's on the clock? Because she's wasting her time with someone because she doesn't want to be married. And I'm like, don't allow these good men to leave the market. And then you want to double back at like 40. And I'm going to be honest, it gets harder. And I'm just being honest.
That's where your leftover theory comes in.
Yes, and this is what I'm saying. Why? Because the men that the women want, right? I want your sister to see this.
Okay.
The men that the women tend to want when they're older are the men they looked over when they were younger. Take this with me. I'm being honest. A lot of the men, the issue we have in today's society is a lot of women, they get older and then they want those guys that they looked over when they were younger to look at them now. But here's the logic. A lot of the guys that date women and they're in their 40s now, they're looking for younger women. And the reason why they're looking for younger women is because they're more fertile. They can breed. So the guy that was focused on his career is either A, with the girl that blew up with him, or B, he's looking for something extremely younger. So at 40, now you're doubling back and you want the guy that you call the cornball or the nerd. But the cornball or the nerd is off the dating market now. And if not, he may be coming back on a date on the market, going through a divorce, or you can convince him to walk out of it. But sometimes he's going to have a lot of mental illness. And then he might start smelling himself because he's at financial levels he's never been at. So now he wants to play catch up. He's been locked down for so long, he wants to play catch up. So you have a 40-year-old guy who's been married since he was in his 20s, and now he's single. He wants to go enjoy life.
Right.
So yeah, he might play with you and tell you he like you, he love you, but he's like, wow, my value is this hot, right? And that's the issue. So I'm telling her, I'm like, you're in your 30s now. I think you need to stop playing games.
Yeah.
You're not young. I think in the black culture, and I have to say this, I think we overly state what young is, right?
Okay.
A 13-year-old Jewish kid is considered an adult.
Yeah.
A 30-year-old black person think they're young.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's crazy to me.
That's a fact.
And when I see people talk like that, I'm like, yo, you're grown as hell.
Yeah.
It's not about being young, or you can have a young heart. You can be a young in spirit. There's nothing wrong with that. Not letting yourself get old. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is you have to always be grown. Being grown is being grown.
I think that the issue, it's not even an age issue necessarily, it's a maturity issue. The reason why a lot of women want to double back to that guy that they overlooked is because experience has made them more mature.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? Sometimes unfortunately, people do get mature too late, both men and women.
Agreed. But women tend to get mature faster.
True.
But if she's around women that's not telling her this, like, yo, stop playing games with this guy. It's a temporary situation.
Yeah.
You overly, okay, at 30, let's say she waits 6 of her prominent years.
Okay.
Yo, no lie. We got a room full of men right now, right? And this is being honest. From a man's perspective, raise your hand if you believe that it gets harder for a woman to find a level of man that they say that they want as they get older. Do you think it's hard? Guys, just so you know, my whole room raised their hands. And I'm not saying this to insult my cousin, but it's me giving her a harsh reality, right? Most women can find their best husbands, or their husbands, high school to about 30 years old. That's their best days of finding their good husband.
I also believe that
most women, not Ashley. Ashley fire. So she gonna try to talk from the cute standpoint. You cute, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
So she you can't think of you. We're talking about most people, most women that they're prime, especially in college.
I feel like the shift, though, I feel like the focal point is really working on yourself, because the reason why people chase bad people is because they haven't worked on themselves. There's some things that you haven't healed yet, right? So we put this emphasis on, settle with this guy. If you settle with that guy just because he's safe, but you don't like him, it's gonna end. It's not built to last either.
But
you know what I'm saying?
What if a person thinks settling is this? I'm just playing devil's advocate today.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sticking up for you guys today, guys.
That's fine.
She ain't gonna just beat us up today. We fighting back today. I put my gloves. But look, so what if she thinks settling is the fact that he don't make the money that she believed that she should be with? This 6-figure term has been thrown around crazy.
Yeah.
Like I said, only 4 to 6% of black men do that. So if you take 4 to 6% of men, that means 90. When a woman says that, I'm like, you basically just said 94 to 95% of men are not good enough for you.
Right.
That's crazy.
But I also feel like, again, people's perception is skewed because of social media. Everybody looks rich on social media. You wouldn't even think that only really 4% of people have it, just taking a dive down your timeline.
I've been to
Everybody
Atlanta.
look rich.
Atlanta crazy. Yo, Atlanta is crazy. Yo, I'm going to tell you, a few years back when I used to go to Atlanta, I bought a house in Atlanta, right? And I sold it. I was going to move to Atlanta when I was going through my divorce. So I was like, I'm out of here. I kept my divorce very private, to the point some people that was around me thought I was still married.
Yeah.
I didn't want nobody to know my business because I have a daughter with her. So for me, I'm not just dissing my ex-wife.
Right.
I'm dissing my daughter's mother.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, yo, let's keep this a little private. And I have a platform where I could have been going crazy, talking hot and spicy. People would have loved it. But again, that's someone I got to deal with for the next 21, 18 years. So in my mind, it's like, yo, don't even do that. That's wrong. Because at one point, she was good enough for me to marry and also put a child in her.
Right.
So regardless of whatever, I'm going to always have that level of respect for her. And that's just my maturity level. In my 20s, maybe not. I would have went crazy on social media. Being honest, because that's what social media reflects that I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to get on here and diss my sisters. Right? I have a belief up here. I say this all the time, Tyler. If God is our spiritual father, right? That makes you my spiritual sister. What father would bless me for hurting his daughter? And what father gonna bless you for hurting his son? And that's how I look at life. So even when I don't agree with my sisters, I try to say it in a nice way without offending them because I don't come on here to hurt and diss women. I think that's whack.
Yeah.
Because if I feel like I'm this strong guy, me picking on a woman if I think that she's weak, that's crazy. I don't think women are weak. I think a lot of them are tough as hell.
Yeah.
I'll go to war with some women faster than some guys.
Right.
I seen dudes run on their mans and the girlfriend are getting beat up with them. I seen it, bro. She like, and sometimes they started though. Get a man beat up. But we live in a world right now where it's more about division, separation.
Yeah.
So let's sum this whole thing up.
Okay.
What can we do in the 2023 to procreate more positive relationships?
I think that we should work on ourselves first. I feel like people neglect that aspect completely. You come from a childhood where you never seen a great, beautiful, cohesive relationship, and for some reason you think you can just go out and date and have a cohesive relationship. I think you need to work on yourself. I think you need to work and figure out what's wrong with you, what your triggers are, what your wounds are, and communicate. I feel like people don't have a good understanding of what they're getting into. And sometimes people aren't honest with the communication too. You see what I'm saying? You gotta get comfortable enough with yourself that you could really keep it 1,000 about what you want, what you can be, what you can't be. You see what I'm saying? What are your boundaries? What's your limits? This, that, and the third. And talk about what you guys are actually doing. You see what I'm saying? And figure out what you actually want.
Can I ask one question before we leave you?
Sure.
What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? So I seen a theory, right? Oh, I'm gonna get into it. It read me for filth. I seen a theory that said, it said beautiful women have trouble getting married or settling down because they can't handle being taken for granted. And that's true.
Take it for granted?
For sure. I think that's a part of the process.
What do you think? Do you think it was because of your choices?
For sure. That's accountability.
Were you going off of looks?
Nah.
What was the what did you do? Something lured you to that.
Trauma.
Okay. See, that's a perfect.
You see what I'm saying?
That's why I like Ashley, guys. She tells the truth. She tells the truth.
But it's like, again, though, even not being taken for granted, to some degree, if you're going to be with somebody for a long period of time, you become normal to them. You see what I'm saying? You're not like always on a pedestal if somebody sees you every single day for years.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? But then when you go out in the street, you go to the supermarket, like 50 people telling you you're beautiful and this, that, and the third, and this, that. That's a kind of hard reality to gauge when you're home and you're not getting the level of attention that you get on a regular day basis. You know what I'm saying? And again, when you're used to attention, it's not the biggest deal to you. You get it? I'm not somebody that causes a lot of attention to myself or gets gassed off attention. You see what I'm saying? But if your person doesn't give you a certain level of care that people in the street give you regularly, even though, like, you're not naive enough to think that the people in the street ain't gonna do that to you too if they get you. You see what I'm saying? It's just a hard path to walk when that's your daily experience.
Agreed. There's a restaurant called Applebee's. I'm not dissing Applebee's, guys, because I might get a sponsorship out of them. But Applebee's, right? Remember when you were young and you dated, you go to Applebee's and you get their steak?
Yeah.
You think that joint is fire, right? But then you upgrade a little bit, you get to Fridays. Then you taste their steak, you like, wait, Applebee's steak is trash. Then you get to Roof Chris, right? And then you go further and further, then you start realizing. What I'm trying to get at is when a person sees a person visually, right? This is men. You are that steak that they lusting over, right? But after they taste that steak a lot, they get comfortable.
Yeah.
And the steak doesn't taste as good as it used to. But what tastes good is the mental connection that we have is going to keep me. Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, right? We can go down the list of people that cheated on beautiful people.
Okay.
What I'm getting at is when a person mentally connects with somebody, it's like they joining their brains together.
Right.
That's more than a vagina and a penis meeting.
For sure.
The mental connection.
Right.
So what I'm getting at is if more people will look for a mental connection opposed to just a physical, they will see how great relationships could be in 2023.
I agree. But another issue I had dating, I'll be completely honest, is that people were not at my mental capability.
But I already told you guys they older. I told you that last episode.
For sure.
Ashley's like a lot. I've known her for a while. She's way more advanced. And she doesn't just say what she's going to do. She follows through. So from what I've seen. it took kahunas for her to just move out of a state where her comfort was, right? Her comfort was here. I'm willing to move myself, relocate, to make myself very uncomfortable so I can make myself comfortable. To me, as a person that's an investor that take risk, I commend you last time for that. I think that's ballsy.
Thank you.
Because, look, I bought a house in Atlanta, started going to Atlanta, and didn't move. I'm being honest. I was like, I'm out of here. Yo, I talked myself out of it 50 times. I'm kind of happy I didn't go because I did, no disrespect to Atlanta, but Atlanta got a lot of, it's false. There's a lot of fake over there.
It's a lot of fake
It's a lot
over
of
there.
fake.
But
It's fluff.
you see what I'm saying? You got to build discernment. I think real is calm. Real is quiet. I feel like overly loud is a red flag.
Sometimes. Because some people never had it. You ever seen a girl that wasn't attractive growing up and now she's cute and now she's go hard because she's getting attention she never got? I know guys that got money that are very loud and they really do have the money, but they've never had it before. My partner with the club, he's very loud.
I still think it's a red flag because if you're too loud and you just got money, you're probably going to lose it.
I could go for that. That's a good way of explaining that.
You see what I'm saying? It's true. I get it. It's like the rush of getting something that you never had. It's an adrenaline rush. But at the same time, you're not going to be able to sustain anything if you're not used to it, if you can't flow with it, in a sense.
Agreed. I want to ask something before we get out of here from the both of y'all.
Sure.
What is something that you can, some kind of advice you can give to somebody, right? And don't say because you're young, right? Sometimes the best people that can see things are the ones that's on the outside looking in.
Correct.
I cannot see that I have something on my forehead. You can, right? So what I'm saying is for someone pursuing relationships, right? From a younger perspective, what do you think some kind of advice you would give?
Definitely seek out honest people. Sometimes it's best, well, not sometimes, all the time, it's best to be with someone that'll tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Say what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. But sometimes we men lie because we don't want to get into arguments, right? The other day I had a conversation with my son. I said to him, "Can I ask you a question?" He said, "What?" I said, "Do you think I love you?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "Do you ever want me to lie to you?" He said, "No." I said, "But how come when I tell you the truth, you get defensive? How can I have a conversation with you?" And he looked at me and I said, "That's my dilemma. If I tell you a lie, you don't want to hear it. But if I tell you the truth, you get defensive." That's the hardest conversation to have with somebody.
I feel like we're always looking for conversations to be easy, but conversations just aren't always easy. You see what I'm saying? But if you have respect for the person, you push through it, and then it gets easier as it goes along. You see what I'm saying? I feel like people are so scared of uncomfortable conversations, but uncomfortable conversations are necessary for growth.
Agreed. So to my women out here now who's pursuing dating, give me a very key component that you would say, give me 3 red flags to watch out for,
Okay.
and give me 3 good things that you should look for. Are you want 5? Are you want 3? Or you want 2? What do you want? 3? You want 3? 3?
I'll do
3 red flags, 3 good things. 3 pros, 3 cons, then, right?
3 red flags. I feel like 1, get somebody that's comfortable with you being you.
Get this. I want this. 3 red flags, 3 pros, 3 cons. I want to hear this. Number 1.
3, get somebody that's comfortable with you being you. I feel like a lot of people go into relationships expecting the person to change or morph into what they expect them to be. Assess people for who they are, not who they could be or anything like that, but who they actually are.
Number 2.
I feel like get somebody that you can communicate with effectively, that's vulnerable enough to communicate with you, because a lot of people want clear, good communication, but you can't be vulnerable enough to be honest enough to have a conversation with somebody.
Number 3.
Don't run from difficult conversations or difficult hardships. That's going to be your testament of if you can be with somebody, how y'all get through hard times or hard conversations.
Those are pros or those are cons?
Somewhere in the middle. I think those are pros. Those are things to look for.
I think those are pros. Yeah. Give me cons.
Red flags.
Red flags.
Red flags. Red flags. Insecurity.
Insecurity is a major one.
Look for insecurity.
Major.
Because insecurity will show itself subtly at first before it gets. People have people are on their best behavior when you just meet them, but it'll show in little ways. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Little humbling or snide comments or, like little restrictions or testing the waters. Because I feel like people test you, especially men.
Agreed. Number 2.
Number 2, consistency. Do they do what they say they're gonna do?
Okay.
In all aspects.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like if you're starting to realize that somebody's like irresponsible, they're always saying they're gonna do this, even if it's not something to do with pertaining to the relationship. I feel like people are pretty consistent in every area of life.
I agree.
If somebody's irresponsible at work, they're probably gonna be irresponsible in a relationship.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? Does he do what he says he's gonna do?
Number 3.
And is he interested enough to help you? You see what I'm saying? Does he sit back and listen to you talk about a problem, or does he jump in and try to organize you or try to help you to his capacity? So I'm saying, I'm not saying that a guy has to jump in and give you $30,000 or money to fix problems, but does he care enough to be interested in helping you?
I agree. I'm going to give you 3 and 3, and we're going to call this a wrap, right?
All right.
I'm going to just say 3 red flags that I see with dating women in 2023. Please don't take it personal, ladies. I love you so much. Do not, what is the word they do now? They don't cancel me. But I'm a subscription that can't be canceled, man. Because I don't do nothing to be canceled.
Hello.
Right? Number 1, I would like to say, be mindful, red flags. Be mindful of her expectations. Sometimes expectations can meet unrealistic. And I've noticed that tons of people date with unrealistic measures. They believe that they're entitled to things they can't provide for themselves, right? It is God's job to do some of these things that they ask men to do. It is God's job to do it. It's not theirs, right? Secondly, stop looking for people that are very uncomfortable being who they are. People that switch too many times. Like sometimes you're dating someone you don't even know who she is. You ever see somebody, then you look at a video with her friends, you're like, damn, who is that? Right? That's a chameleon. That's a person you don't want to date. And the reason why I wouldn't date that person, don't get me wrong, we all act different around some people, but I want to be with somebody that's comfortable being themselves around me, right? And once a person's comfortable being themselves around me, I know who I'm dating. I don't want to find out things about you. If you twerk, right? If you have fun, you turn up. I would rather know that you drink. Imagine you dating a girl, then after having a child, you find out she smokes. Nothing against smokers, but what if you didn't like that? Right? I'd rather have knew in the beginning. Lastly, I would say is make sure the person, like I like what you said earlier, everything is on the table, right? Transparency. Someone that's not evasive of transparency. When a person is not transparent, that means their lie is the truth that they're showing you, right? And to them, it's true. So again, I like people that are just truthful. Just be honest. If this is what it is, this is what it is. If it's not what it is, then it's not what it is. And either way, I'm going to respect it because of the fact that you were honest, right? But 3 good things I would say is love each other, and love each other. Love is about accepting. It's not about imposing and forcing people to be who you want them to be. Love is about accepting. Me, Tyler, and all my guys, and me and Ashley, we all have great relationships because we accept each other for who each other are. When she voices her opinion, whether I agree or disagree, I still respect her enough where I hear out her opinion, and vice versa for me. That's respect. So let's respect each other and stop posing what we want from life on people. I think that's what parents do with their children.
For sure.
That's why they lose them.
For sure.
They wanted to be lawyers or cops or doctors, and now they try to push their children to do something they wanted. We understand the financial security aspect of it. We ain't gonna go into that. But I feel like in society today, she said something again earlier. Become secure with yourself, learn who you are, and make sure when entertaining dating, you have your stuff together. So you're not you're not insecure because you're going into restaurants and you feel like you can't provide. And I've seen guys leave women because of that. They felt very uncomfortable. And the woman didn't have the requirements he believed in his mind that he wasn't in her league.
Yeah.
Right? And he genuinely believed it. Some guys don't know what league they can play in if they never take a dribble or take a shot. There's a lot of levels of women that you can get if you really take the shot. Right? We're gonna shoot, right, guys? But anybody want to say anything before we get out of here? Qui joignait? Voilà. I'm from?
But yeah, all I want to say is that we need each other.
Agreed.
Men and women, I feel like there's so much pressure to go against each other or always be arguing or pointing the finger. Like, we both do things wrong. We both could be better together, and we both are better together. And
Agreed.
I feel like, a lot of times we didn't grow up seeing it, but it doesn't mean that we can't create it for ourselves and give that gift to the next generation.
I love it. I love it. So let's basically eliminate all of this war against each other and start loving each other.
Right.
Before we get out of here, let me say this. Guys, if God is your father and God is my father, that make you my spiritual brother and sister, what father will bless me for hurting his daughter? And what father will bless me for hurting his son? So what father gonna bless you for hurting his children? Let's love on each other, stop talking bad on each other, and understand that some people, they just don't know who they are yet. Right? Let them figure it out. But it is not your job to take on projects and then complain about the project.
Facts.
You chose that project. He was what he was before you met him, and she was what she was before you met her. And you saw the signs. Don't move so fast that you run past the red flags. Until next time, don't let that go over your head.